Aaron Singerman, CEO of Redcon1, here with the face of Redcon1, Dallas McCarver, and he just got back from Australia.
Yeah, and basically, guys, the hell with what you heard. I'm not dying. My kidneys ain't failing. My heart's not shutting down. I'm just sick, and that's just what it is. But that being said, I want to take the time here to explain to you guys exactly what has happened and my thoughts and feelings on a lot of these situations. And also, because I do have the best fans in the world, and you guys are so supportive. I've got literally hundreds, if not thousands, of messages, YouTube, support, love, people checking on me. So it's amazing to me that many people are concerned. And so what I want to do is I want to take, the least I can do is take a moment and respond to everybody.
Yeah.
And I can't take 3 days of my time to type out, all these messages, but I can do this, So that's the purpose of this.
Yeah, I know me personally got tons of messages from industry people saying, is Dallas okay? And it just goes to show you the amount of support and the feelings that people have for you, that they care, because some of the biggest names in the industry reach out to me to say, how's Dallas? How's he doing? How's he feeling? Everything okay? Because they were genuinely concerned. So let's roll it back a little bit. There have been a lot of rumors, and the truth of the matter is that nobody really knows, other than Dallas and maybe me and Chad, 100% what happened. And I didn't feel like it was my place to explain anything to anybody. So let's kind of roll it back a little bit. Yeah. Before I remember.
Hold on, let me say just real quick that I give a shit less about this negativity. I've become numb to it, and this isn't for you negative, hateful, bitter people. This is for the people that love and support me. So this is for people that that care about me and are concerned and have reached out to me in a positive, supporting manner. If you got something negative to say, keep saying it. I don't give a shit.
Good. Yeah, that's unfortunately part of the thing is that people do say negative shit. You just got to block it on out.
Well, it was very ironic. Dorian put out that video. Did you see the video that's been going around to Dorian?
Oh, it's basically the real thing.
It's like the whole point of the video is you reach true happiness when you no longer give a crap about what anybody thinks.
Yeah, but
that's never hit home more for me right now than love the ones that love you, and the rest of them can kick rocks.
And it's funny because you've experienced something. Obviously, he's still sick. He's getting over it, but you've experienced something interesting because you have gone from he sucks, he's never going to be good, to he's going to be Mr. Olympia, and then back to he sucks again.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't pay attention to any of that shit.
No.
Because it's so fickle. There's no,
It's just like before the show, before all of this happened, how many times do we get asked, what do you think about people saying you're the next Mr. Olympia?
Oh, yeah.
And what did I say? I said, I didn't listen to them when they said I wasn't going to be shit. I'm not going to listen to them when they say I'm going to be great. And now, it seems to be a divided thing, which honestly, that's the way it should be. You know what I'm saying? If you're realistic, like in any walk of life, you're going to have supporters, you're going to have people that don't.
Sure.
That's fine. But, if I didn't listen to them when they said I'm great, and they didn't listen to them when I said I'm going to suck, I'm not going to start listening now.
So let's go back to before Columbus. You and Chad started your carb up process, and I remember you walked in the door right here in my office and said, "Man, I don't know what's going on. I just threw up. I'm not eating anything different. I'm carving up on the same type of foods because I thought, maybe they're doing something different." You're like, "No, it's the same stuff. I'm just eating more, and I'm throwing up. I don't know. I hope I'm not getting sick."
Mm-hmm.
And that was before Columbus.
Yeah. Truth be told, every show I've done in the last few years, I've had vomiting problems.
Yeah.
Even back to when me and Matt did our first Olympia together, I remember sitting there in his kitchen and I was eating. I was like, I must throw up. Waking up in the morning, throwing up. And it wasn't that I was throwing up food necessarily, it was mucus. It was bile. I thought it was stomach bile.
Yeah.
I come to find out it was mucus.
Yeah. And you've been coughing ever since I know you, sporadically. Not like now, but
yeah, I mean, I've always had this whooping cough my whole life. This dry, heaving cough. And like anybody that knows me or has ever known me for any period of time can obviously vouch for that. Even back in high school, they used to kick me out of class because I coughed and disturbed the class, or I'd start having coughing fits,
Oh.
And it's crazy, and I just thought I just coughed loudly, I mean, some people laugh loud. Some people, or gassy. I just figured I had a weird cough. I don't know.
Yeah.
And, so that, like you said, anyways, yes, I was throwing up before Columbus, and, then I developed like this crud in my face and draining it in my chest and waking up, throwing up the mucus. And so I'd been dealing with that on and off for a while. But, it's weird because people are like, well, why'd you appear fine? Why are you going about life normal? What are you supposed to do?
Right, of course.
What the fuck are you supposed to do? Throw in the white flag, oh, I'm sick, I give up. No, I mean, it's me. Like, come on, guys. Like,
right.
I'm going to do the show. Like, you would have had to cut my leg. You would have had to kill me because I apparently tried to kill myself in Australia.
Right.
Anyways.
So you were not feeling well, and obviously anybody who's been to the Arnold Classic knows that you're around a lot of people, and when you're around a lot of people, people tend to get sick, and that's people who are not even working the show, let alone somebody like Dallas, who I witnessed take well over 1,000 pictures, where the people all all over you. You can't help, and obviously, what are you going to do if somebody wants to shake your hand? You can't really think of like, oh, this guy may be getting me sick. So I don't know how many people you hugged or shook their hand or had lay on you. You even laid on people.
Yeah.
So in the expo, so you touch a lot of people. So obviously the potential to get sick is there for everybody.
Yep.
And then you, instead of going home and getting to rest, like me, like everybody else, basically, you got on a 20-something hour flight. Because you go. I don't know. Did you go from?
I went from Columbus to Dallas to LA to New Zealand.
Woo! It's a lot. And so, how long did it take you travel time, total travel time?
Over 20-something hours.
Yeah, I think it's like close to 30.
Yeah,
when
20.
You combine them
all the
weekend.
layovers and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So you did all that. You get to this strange place that's on a totally different time zone, and tell us a little bit about New Zealand.
Yeah. So New Zealand. When I got there, I just had the cough. And here's another funny fact or interesting fact. Mo can vouch for this. Mo has this thing in his office, and it somehow reads your eyes, and your retina and the blood in your eyes, and it gives you a digital readout of your body.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, little did I know, when I went and got my blood work done the other day at the hospital, they confirmed all this.
Yeah.
It said everything was fine in my body except I had gas, which what bodybuilder doesn't, and it said my lungs were congested.
Mm.
I had something in my lungs.
Someone's machine was right.
Apparently, Mo, shout out to your machine. It works.
Yeah.
And I knew. I told him I had been coughing and hacking, and he was like, "Yeah, I noticed you coughing and hacking." And, so Mo can vouch for that, and yeah. So, like I said, in New Zealand, I was sick, and it was more the same shit that it was here. Like I had the drainage, I had the cough. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, I can't breathe, I'm dying. It was just, I had the drainage, I had the cough. I woke up a couple times throwing up. Remember me texting you like the day of the show, throwing up that morning.
Did you ever consider back then seeing a doctor, getting antibiotics or anything?
I should have, man. But I'm in some country, I don't know where anything is. I just, to be honest with you, I think the last thing I wanted to do, because all the work I put into prep, was admit that I was sick.
Right.
That's not, just like Dave said in his video, that was stupid.
Yeah.
That was stupid of me. I should have treated myself. I should have took care of myself. But, truth be told, I was to the point where I knew something was wrong, but I just suck it up for a couple more weeks. We'll figure it out when we get home, And you don't want to admit you're sick. You just, who wants to, I'm not made that way. Like, I'm not made to just give up, and it's not, and looking back on it, it wouldn't have been giving up. It would have been doing the smart thing. But in my mind at the time, poor decision on my part.
Yeah.
But you live and learn.
Yeah. So you're there, you compete. At any time during that event, did you feel any of these symptoms that you felt in Australia, or is this, you felt okay?
To be honest with you, Aaron, I don't know how much of it was sick and how much of it was traveling and tired and just feeling like shit because you're doing a show,
You figure out this is to be expected.
Right. And
you're not supposed to feel good.
Yeah, so it's like you feel like shit, so you just kind of come to accept, I of course, like I said, I threw up a couple times, I had a lot of drainage, a lot of coughing, a little bit of congestion, but nothing where it was like I literally couldn't catch my breath.
Yeah.
Now, when I got to Australia, Monday.
Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, it was okay. Thursday, I woke up with a pretty bad cough, a lot of wheezing and congestion. By midday, it had kind of cleared up once I got up moving around. Friday, a little worse. Saturday I woke up and I couldn't even lay on my back. Like every time I lay on my back, I would choke. I felt like I was drowning. And Chad was like, you know, man, like Chad was freaking out, you know.
Yeah.
Bro, he's like, I don't know. He's like, you know, because apparently Chad's son had a really bad case of pneumonia when he was young, and I think it kind of left Chad really shell-shocked with pneumonia.
Yeah.
And Chad was very afraid for me, and you know, he kind of tried to talk me out of it, and I was very bullheaded and wanted to do my thing, and you know, he was like, man, you know, and it's my fault. I put no blame on this on Chad Nichols whatsoever. You know, Chad asked me how I was feeling, and I told Chad I felt fine enough to do the show.
Yeah.
And that's all he can go on.
Right.
He can't, he's not, first off, he's not even there.
Yeah.
You know, which isn't his fault. He's not a doctor. He doesn't, you know, and he has no digital readout or way of looking at me or examining me. You know, he asked me how I felt. I said, I'm going to do the fucking show.
Right.
That was that, you know. And, you know, I hacked and wheezed and got up there, and the rest is what it is, you know.
Now, one of the things that's been talked about out there is that maybe you did something risky to get for this show, or you took extra supplements or an extra diet.
We can take diuretics. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's another thing, guys. Is I see some things, and apparently there's this conspiracy that you don't want me to talk about this stuff. Guys, let me tell you right now, Aaron would love nothing more than me to talk about controversial issues, because that's just going to bring attention. Like,
Well,
I mean, that's just me. I don't think that it's right for me to give that kind of advice, because number one, I'm not a doctor. Number two, I'm not an expert. And number three, I just don't want that on my head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but let's get one thing straight. Aaron doesn't censor a damn thing I say.
No.
Besides, you know,
I don't choose his trainers. I don't choose his shows. I've never, if Dallas says, hey, do I have to do this or the other thing? Basically, all of his career decisions are up to him. You know,
as long as I support Redcon and you know, do my obligations to Redcon, me and you stay pretty cool.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I don't think I've ever told you, hey, you have to do this, or you're like, I don't want to do that, or I can't make that appearance, or whatever. I'm too tired. I've always, you know.
If anything, there's been several times where I've said I felt uncomfortable with things, and you've let me get away with it.
Yep.
Certain, you know, of your funny posts and stuff, you know, and just like the Uncle Sam thing, I felt weird about it. I have to re-examine. You told me I didn't have to post it.
Yep. So
and then I sat there and thought about it, and I was like, fuck it, I'll post it.
Well, I think you looked at the comments.
Yeah, once I saw that people, I just, you know me, I'm sensitive to offending people.
Yeah, yeah.
I like people to like me.
Yeah.
So, yes, there was no excessive diuretics. There was no crazy, you know, protocol or, you know, killing myself. And, you know, anybody that knows anything knows that no matter what you take to prevent cramping, if you push the diuretics too far, when you reach the point of unsafety, you will cramp.
Yeah.
And that's what causes the shutdown, is a full body lockup.
Were you cramping bad?
I never cramped.
That's a.
You know, I never cramped. The only thing I did is, according to Guy, when I passed out, I was twitching and shaking, you know, a little bit of jerking.
Well.
Now, anybody that knows shit and has seen, you know, I worked in the bar long enough, and I choked out enough people. I've seen people get choked out enough. I've been choked out. And I've seen it happen. When you get choked out and your brain cannot get oxygen,
you move around.
You get the squirms. It's just part of it. That's how you know they're still alive.
Yeah.
You know? But, yeah. There was no crazy diuretics. There was, you know, if anything, I think I took less each show, because I was going in each show more dehydrated.
Sure,
so why would I take more in Australia than I did in New Zealand or Columbus, you know?
Right.
It's dumb.
Yeah, another thing that people don't really think of is the access is not even there. It's not like you know, it's just, there's a lot of factors that go into it. And another thing,
I don't know if you ever tried to take anything into Australia, guys, but
don't do it.
Their customs don't play.
Don't do it. You'll end up in handcuffs in Australia. In terms of, since we're talking about it, in terms of all the supplement stuff, I see a lot of people that say, oh, he's going crazy with this now. You know, now he's with Chad. Oh, he doesn't care about anything anymore. You know, he's got to think about his health. Can you touch on that without being specific?
I mean, I can be specific, but the thing is like I don't know where this comes from. You know, I know. You know, I guess people assume like, oh, Chad trained a lot of big guys.
Yeah.
Big guys equal big numbers.
Yeah.
Maybe in some cases, but you know, speaking for me and speaking for other people I know, you know, quality.
Yeah.
It beats quantity every time.
Sure.
And, knowing how to use all this, whatever it may be, supplements or diuretics or other stuff, it all plays a role. But no, there's the numbers of anything that I'm doing hasn't jumped up. And I can assure you that nobody takes my health and safety more serious than me.
Of course.
I get my blood work done every 90 days. You know this.
Yeah.
I've been here. I'm on steady glutathione, B12, vitamin C, IV treatments.
He takes tons. He takes tons and tons more supplements that I don't make than supplements that we do make. It's just health supplements.
That's the truth, man.
Constantly.
I've got a counter full of 30 supplements I take every day. I fill up a freaking coffee cup.
Supplements. Yeah. Health supplements.
Yeah, like health stuff. And so to say that I'm neglecting my health, guys, give me a little credit. Come on.
So let's talk about the moment on stage in Australia. You were up on stage, and by the way, I don't know if everybody has a chance. I'm going to have Tony clip this in here to how you actually looked on stage in Australia. You looked pretty fucking good. I mean, you looked. I know before the show you were telling me you don't know how it was going to turn out and everything, but if you look at the stage footage, the video, and the pictures, you looked pretty awesome. And then all of a sudden, in the comparisons, something happened.
Yeah, well, I'll walk you through the whole thing.
Yes.
I come out for my 60 seconds. I'm feeling great. Things are hitting. I'm popping. I'm feeling good. Having trouble breathing, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I get through the 60 seconds. I get off, and I'm having trouble catching my breath. And I go ahead and tell Big Al, the expert. I said, Big Al, I'm gonna need some O2 when I come back. I said, I'm gonna need some. Yeah. He said, okay. He said, I'll get the medic and set it up. I said, thanks.
And Big Al is actually the guy who held you up when you.
Yes.
Just to give people.
And
reference.
that's why he came running, because he knew I was already struggling.
Yeah.
And so Al said, okay, I'll get it hooked up for you. So they hooked up the oxygen. We go back out for the preliminary call-outs. Through the preliminary call-outs, I could feel my body starting to fade. I couldn't catch my breath. It's like I was breathing, but I was just hacking, and not hacking, but gargling and wheezing, And so I could literally feel my body changing. And me and Chad were talking last night, and it's funny, because there's nothing funny about that. I keep saying funny, it's ironic. That you see the pictures. My 60-second pictures are great. That preliminary call out, I faded a little more. By the time I got to the first call out, I looked like a different bodybuilder than I did in the 60 seconds.
There was so much stress.
Just because you can't get oxygen.
Yeah.
You can't get oxygen. You can't push.
Flex,
yeah. And so by the time I did the preliminary call outs, I came out. They gave me the oxygen for the first time. I hit it a few times, trying to catch my breath. Hitting it. Get the feeling a little better, and Big Al's like, hey, they're calling you. And he's like, do you need time? I should have said yes.
Yeah.
Me being Mr. Hoorah.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Let's go. I run out there, and halfway through, everybody saw what happened.
Yeah.
The last thing I remember is I was hitting a rear lat spread, and I remember I kind of just blacked out, and my foot, I just lost my balance, and I caught myself, and I was like, fuck, get it together, I shook it off. And then the next pose is side tricep, and I try to go into my side tricep, and that's just when and couldn't catch my breath, and everything started getting black. And I remember I saw Al and I waved, and the last thing I remember is Al's coming at me, and I just lunged for him.
Yeah. And
I caught him, or he caught me, I guess, and Guy helped. I've seen the video. That's how I know most of this, to be honest. It's all kind of I was pretty much out on my feet at that point. And then the next thing I really remembering is Guy standing over me, O2, IV, Guy's giving me Gatorade. I'm laying in a pile of my own puke. You overheat, you throw up, it's part of it, And so all that happened. And
after all that, you still wanted to go back out there.
Well, I wouldn't let them, they had the needle in me, but I wouldn't let them start the fluid until somebody went and got Steve and asked Steve if I could go back out. And Steve was like, no, the hell with that. I'm worried about your safety. I want you healthy. Right. And so I was like, all right, well, put me in. And so they gave me the fluid. They gave me the oxygen. I laid there for about an hour in the floor, throwing up. I've got to say thank you to Guy Cisternino, the medics, and Jeremy Buendia. Jeremy Buendia and Guy Cisternino didn't have to do a damn thing for me.
Sure.
And they stood there and wiped my vomit off of me and held my legs up, gave me fluids, anything they could do to help. So thank you guys, seriously. That means the world to me.
Yeah.
And then, so that I get to feeling better, I go back in the green room where they have the dressing room.
Right.
And I'm sitting there and I start feeling better. So I'm like, God, I want to go back out. And he's, shut the fuck up. He's like, you're stupid, you're not going. And then obviously I was out of my mind. I shouldn't even said that, but I don't like to give up like that, and it's unfortunate. It pisses me off. So, anyways.
Yeah. So you come home, or realistically, really later that day, kind of some drama started where I'm sure you saw, and I mean you obviously
Let's go over getting home first before we.
Okay, go into the Sean Ray nonsense.
Yeah.
All right, go in the getting home part.
Yeah, so I'm on the flight home and I'm texting you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you got the text. You can show them the damn text. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm texting you. I'm like, hey, my chest is heavy. I'm sweating. Something's not right.
You said what scared me is you said every 20 seconds or so walking you needed to stop and take a break. And so originally I told you, because you said tomorrow if you can help me find a good doctor for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started calling around. I called Dr. Nick, who is a chiropractor to celebrities and the best, and a good friend. He's not a medical doctor, but he knows a lot about. He works with some of the biggest name athletes in the history of the world.
Very knowledgeable.
So very knowledgeable guy. And anyway, so I hit him up just because he's the first person I could think of, and I told him the symptoms, and he said no, have him go to the emergency clinic, or the, what do they call it? Urgent care tonight when he gets home. So we started looking for one close to his house, and I realized they were all closed. So I told Dr. Nick, and Dr. Nick said, "Then just tell him to go to the ER." And I told you, and obviously that's probably a bummer to even have to consider that, right?
At that point, man, I wanted to go. You know what I'm saying?
You knew something was really wrong.
I was scared, man.
Yeah, scared,
I live alone.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to go home. I mean, what happens if I died home alone?
No, I know.
Go out, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't think I would have died, but I was very sick, and so
yeah, it's scary because you didn't know.
I couldn't, dude. I was so bad, trying to get through.
Plus, you're flying, so you having all these symptoms and flying is gonna make it worse.
Stuck in a plane.
Stuck in a small plane.
And so, I'm trying to get through the airport to get my bags, and literally, every 20, 30 steps, I'm leaning on something, hacking and coughing, and just 20 or 30 steps more and hacking and coughing and gargling. By this point, I just feel like I'm drowning and can't get no relief. And so anyways, we get there. They help me get my bags. I go straight to the ER, and I get to the ER, and the doctors come in, and I give them, I can barely talk. I'm coughing so much. I give them all my symptoms, and they give me a big bag of IV fluids, steroid injection into the IV. What else? Antibiotics. They just loaded me up with stuff. Ran all kinds of tests. They ran blood work, kidney function, piss test, EKG, ultrasound, a CAT scan with fluid,
They did everything, make sure.
Check my fucking brain.
Yeah.
They checked everything.
And the result was?
Everything came back fine.
Just fluid in the lungs.
Yeah, even my kidney function was fine.
Yeah.
Got the papers to prove it. So, all this stuff was fine, but my lungs are full of fluid.
Yeah.
So, the preliminary diagnosis is, for all you guys that want to know, I have what they think is some weird ass form of bronchitis-induced asthma. And basically what it is my body is very susceptible to retaining fluid in my lungs, which explains the cough for my whole life, why I've always had these symptoms of throwing this shit up, this drainage, all of this. And so I've got an appointment next week with a pulmonologist, and I'm going to see a cardiologist just to make sure everything's fine there, even though they told me it was. I want to go see one for me. And basically they prescribed me breathing treatments, 2 inhalers, a prednisone pack, and then this pulmonologist is probably going to prescribe me, some other form of long-term medication that's going to treat this probably for the rest of my life, they said. Sure. And to be honest with you, man, I'm relieved. I'm glad, number one, that it's nothing more serious. I'm glad, number two, that I've understood why, even when I would go back to working with Matt, Matt told me 100 times, bro, something's not right. You shouldn't wake up throwing up fucking fluid on a regular basis.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't be hacking and coughing like this. And, anybody that knows me, Bo Weiss has trained with me. Anybody that knows me knows I throw up more training than anybody. And it's like, I always thought I just had a sensitive stomach, But really what it is, it's all this drainage coming down into my gut. All right, so anyways, it was a relief to know I'm healthy. Or not healthy, but it's a relief to know I'm on the road to being healthy.
Well, it's good. There's got to be some comfort in just knowing what you're facing. What's the deal?
Yeah, and so just like I gave myself that comfort by going to the doctor, that's why we're doing this. I want to let all my fans, everybody that supports and loves me and has been so supportive through all this, know that I'm going to be okay. This is nothing permanent. Maybe the condition's permanent, but it's treatable. This is nothing that...
If anything, you can come back better for it because it's something you've been dealing with.
Dude, who knows? Like, that's one thing that I was talking to Chad about, and one thing that's come out of all this is I actually spoke with Matt too. But speaking with people that have known me and trained around me and been around me, like, the general consensus is, bro, you've been hacking and puking and coughing and shit for years now.
Right.
Like, imagine what you're gonna be, and like, I know. Also, I want to touch this because I know this kind of could be looked at as, well, nobody knows you've been this way. Well, first off, anybody that knows me does know I've been this way for a long time. Second off, of course that's not on camera. Of course I'm not bitching and moaning about how I feel all the time. Like, I'm just not that way, So if you want to believe this, you can. And if you want to say it's a crock of shit, make a video and say that I'm still dying and I got kidney failure or whatever, go for it. But,
just to touch on that, that's a good segue. To the loudest of the people, out there basically saying negative things is, of course, Sean Ray. And he's been doing that for a long time. I think the big difference here is that, Sean and you are supposed to be on the same team, right?
Yeah, it blows my mind, man. Yeah. It blows my mind. Like, I don't get it, If Sean Ray thinks that little of me, and which would in turn mean that Steve Blackman is okay, and in turn thinks that little of me, why am I on MD's payroll? Yeah. Why are we even partnered with MD? Right. If that is the thought of me in that office, then what the hell are we doing here? So.
It's the thing that
I don't get it.
The thing that they say, or the thing that Sean says, and that Steve has said, is that Sean cares very much about you and wants to see the best for you, and that's the motivation behind this.
If Sean cared very much about me and wanted to see the best for me, and wanted what was best for me, why has Sean never picked up the phone to call me and ask me about any of this and get the true story?
That's a good question, yeah.
It's not my job to run down Sean and give Sean the true story. Sean's a fucking reporter. Yeah. When you're a football player and you got an injury, do you think that
they don't speculate?
Do you think that the ESPN reporters just sit around waiting on Shaq or Kobe or fucking LeBron to call them and be like, well, actually what happened was... No, they're beating down the fucking door trying to figure out what's going on.
Especially, I think that the thing is, like, right, if you're going to speculate, if you're going to decide to just put your guesses out there, and it's your teammate, it's somebody that are on the same team trying to, hopefully achieve a positive result for the team, then it's even more your responsibility to make sure that what you're putting out, your speculation is at least based on some sort of fact. So it's definitely, I think that, so people, that I think it's the reason why I brought it up so early in this little discussion, the Sean Ray discussion here, is that people got to really consider, from your perspective, like, this is somebody who's supposed to be on your team that everybody tells you cares so much about you. It's a weird thing.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
And that's, and that's why I finally broke my silence and made the post I did. Because from a logical perspective, from an individual that studied psychology, which I did, the only rational explanation is that Sean Ray has extreme insecurities, and extreme bitterness for whatever reason, and I made a lot of statements, and yes, part of it was me being funny, and part of it was me taking jabs, but the truth is, man, anybody that has to throw others down constantly. I'll put it this way. You put together 100 videos of Sean Ray talking about bodybuilders, you might find 5 or 10 positive, and the rest is all his negative shit.
Well, the news that he chooses that he says is fit to report always seems to be bad.
Yes. And so anyways, anybody that takes and throws somebody under the bus or has to down others to make themselves relevant or important or seem to be a valued critic of the sport or reporter or whatever, if that's the way you got to promote yourself, man, you're not worth the breath of my lungs. And I don't have a lot to spare right now anyways.
Yeah.
But no, man, whatever. But on the flip side, you want to talk about reporting. What Dave Palumbo did with this story, and I don't give a shit that I am sponsored with MD right now. What Dave Palumbo did with this story was reporting, and thank you, Dave. Dave criticized me. He said I was stupid for not getting treated. You know, he said that me and Chad should have handled it, and yes, we should have. Moving forward, if we could do it again, we would. And on the flip side, Dave also he wasn't the first one to bust out a story. He wasn't in a hurry. He took and got the facts, and he reported them accordingly.
Yeah.
He was not biased. He was not. Now, granted, Dave don't like Sean, but nobody in this industry likes Sean, so that doesn't matter. You know, you ask 100 people, and you see the comments.
Yeah, sure.
So, anyways, you know, that's reporting.
Sometimes, you know, I always say this. Sometimes it's not even what you say; it's how you say it.
Absolutely.
And you know, you could say things a lot of different ways.
You can come across very bitter.
Yeah.
If you are bitter.
Yeah.
If it's not just speaking logical fact.
Right.
And that's what's happened here. But like I said, I'm done talking about it. I'm not going to post about it no more. And let's be honest, who benefits more from this whole dispute? Sean.
Of course.
Because without me, Sean's completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Nobody, like, who was talking about Sean before all this?
No, zero.
Nobody gives a dump about him.
Zero.
You know, so this is helping him more than me. So I'm done with it. Guys, Sean, have at it. The rest of you, have at it. But I'm done with it, man. And to be honest, out of all this, I can honest to God say that this has turned out to be a very positive thing, and that we've put a very positive light. It's brought a very positive light from a negative situation because, number one, you find out who your friends are. You find out who supports you.
Right.
And I found out really quick that via, you know, my team here at Redcon, my team down here at Boca, you know, whether it be you, Flex, Eric, everybody we got in this office, everybody that I train with down here, all my friends even back home, hell, even me and Matt have talked again. You know, Matt's reached out and been supportive and loving, and which I'm thankful for. And you know, so all that has shown me that everything happens for a reason.
100%.
And I've taken a step back, but I guarantee you I'm about to take 3 forward. You know what I'm saying? And so while it is a very negative situation, while it could be very down, I think you would agree that I've actually handled it very upbeat.
Yeah, 100%.
And I've actually been very positive about this because, number one, I'm not going to beat myself up over spilled milk. And number two, you know, like I said, you learn a lot about yourself and you learn a lot about the people around you. And that's what I've done. And so moving forward, I'm done with the negativity. I'm done with the arguing. You know, if they want, say what you want, guys, but this is me telling the true story. And, you know, anybody that's got any questions, if you want to report something, if you want to critique me, if you want to know the truth about anything, if you need proof about anything, call me.
No.
Call me. You can speak to me, the people that were at the hospital with me, the people that have went and got the prescriptions with me. Hell, you had to bring me a breathing machine today.
Yep.
I mean, there's no reason to be negative about this any longer. You know, if you want to know the truth, contact me. If you don't believe the truth when I tell you, I'm sorry, but there's nothing more I can do.
Yeah. Go kick rocks.
Yeah, basically.
With all that in mind, what's the next plan for you, for Dallas McCarver getting on stage? Because I'm sure that's what people are thinking, like, okay, so now what?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But I have to think about, first and foremost, I have to think about my health.
Sure.
And I have to be mentally and physically healthy and ready to go before I'm going to commit to a prep. So that being said, do I want to do the Olympia? Guys, let's be real. You know I want to do the Olympia. Will I do the Olympia? Well, there's a very few variables. am I going to be qualified for the Olympia? If I'm not qualified, will I have time to get healthy, prep for a show, qualify, do the Olympia, and in all that time, will I be able to improve and present a package and put a package on stage that's worthy of the Olympia stage?
Sure. Because you're not just trying to appear now or trying to be top 6 or be up there.
I don't want any lower than where I was last
No,
year.
absolutely not. Yeah.
So all that being said, my first concern right now is getting healthy. Once I'm healthy, we can reassess the situation and see what I look like, and we will go from there. So I do not have a direct answer for you guys.
And nobody's forcing Dallas to do any shows.
Dude, you told me in Australia. You were
whatever you want to do.
You can be done for the year, guys.
Whatever you want to do.
So look, guys, like I don't have a direct answer for you. As soon as I know something.
Worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario, I will put every bit of effort I have into winning the Arnold next year. And after that, I'm going to go win Australia.
Hell yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is. And I might not win, but I guarantee you, like, my mindset going into these preps from here on, I'm going to be a very different person because I've got nothing else to lose at this point, man.
Yeah.
I felt the weight of the world on me this prep. I felt the weight of the world on me. And it's gone. It's gone because half of you still love and support me, and half of you think I'm done. So, and I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'll keep it that way, You can all love me, you can all hate me, but at the end of the day, I got nothing else to lose. So it's back to, for me, it's number 1, I'm getting healthy. Number 2, I'm going to go back to loving this and having fun. And number 3, I'm going to keep putting out content and keep providing my fans with the things they love and the things that keep them supportive and loving me. And that's my 3 goals right there. And, what happens and what comes of it, comes of it. I'm not going to say I'm going to be the next Mr. Olympia. I've never said that. But we're going to go back to having fun doing this stuff, man. And it's going to show.
I'm excited about that. I think we did cover everything.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. All right, so look for much more content now that Dallas is back. You actually have some content from Australia that we're going to put up soon, huh?
Yeah, we got some stuff coming for you guys. Lost my computer charger in New Zealand.
Yeah. If you're wondering what happened with the video logs, it's not that he didn't want to do them, it's that he lost the charger.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah. The last one people loved. The last one, I'm sure people were like, wait, he stopped? Yeah. So that'll all be back, and he's actually going to take the video log a little further, and you're going to get to see maybe a little more fun side of Dallas.
Yeah, there's going to be, moving forward, I want to focus a lot more on my life outside the gym because I feel like everybody's seen me lift heavy weights at this point.
They have.
So we got some fun stuff coming up down here, man. Friday we got a dinner coming up.
Yep, Friday dinner. You gonna bring your camera for the dinner?
Absolutely.
We got the Dallas dinner party.
Might have an after party on camera too.
Oh, jeez. We'll have to spend a certain amount of money for this room, so we're gonna have to drink. Eduardo's like, oh, Dallas will drink. And I was like, we'll see about that.
Oh, no. Honestly, like I said, I'm focused on getting healthy. I don't want to have too much fun until I'm good and healthy, but at the end of the day, like I said, man, I'm going to start loving my life a little more because I feel like I put way too much pressure on myself this prep. I think you'd agree.
Yes.
You've told me that 100 fucking times.
Yeah.
I just don't listen to nobody.
You always say you feel better when I tell you that, and then you go back to feeling pressure again.
Yeah, you're good at like setting me straight for about 12 hours at a time, and then I go back to fuck this.
Yeah.
But seriously, I want to have fun, man. Like when I was doing this before, and before all this pressure and all this notoriety, it was fun, and I loved it, and I think that's key to success. Especially for someone like me, that puts too much pressure on myself anyways.
Right.
So, things are just going to change, man. We're going to see a new me and a new attitude, and I'm going to try to leave a lot of this negativity towards myself, towards others. I just want to be a positive light in the industry and really bring back what's fun and what I love about this the most. And so that's my goals moving forward, and hopefully you guys will follow along, and which I know you will, and I love you, and I appreciate it.
All right, guys. So for Dallas and me, we're out. See you soon.
Much love.